The origin of the Jewish people can be found in the Bible. More than 3,500 years ago, the covenant God made with Abraham promised a land for him and his descendants. The ancient Near Eastern region known as Canaan would become Israel. Israel is both a land and a people. Several times throughout history, the people of Israel were forcibly exiled from their land. The first time was in 586 BCE, after the Babylonians conquered the kingdom of Judah. Many were forced into slavery. Even though they were dispersed throughout the world, Jews always looked to the land of Israel as the center of their religion and their true home. Toward the end of the 19th century, Theodor Herzl, the founder of the modern Zionist movement, envisioned a future independent Jewish state. The vision was to bring the scattered Jewish people together once again in the land of Israel. In 1917, the British government, then in control of the region, issued a public statement giving support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people. The document came to be known as the Balfour Declaration. The Jewish people suffered their greatest catastrophe after the Nazi Party came to power in Germany in 1933. The Holocaust took the lives of 6 million Jews between 1933 and 1945. It began gradually with the government enacting discriminatory laws excluding Jews from German society. A man named Julius Streicher published a newspaper called Der Stürmer, which disparaged Jews and echoed the Nazi Party's anti-Semitic hatred. The combination of government propaganda and propaganda from the press allowed the German people to accept the atrocities happening all around them. After the war ended in 1945, thousands of Holocaust survivors, with their lives in shambles and their property seized, looked to the land of their ancestors for hope. More than 52,000 Holocaust survivors attempted to resettle in Palestine via Cyprus. The British government, however, intercepted them and put them in internment camps.
How many people have you got by now in that barbed wire jungle of yours?
Over 30,000.
And they are building for 30,000 more on the other side of the island.
How many people arrived yesterday on the Star of David?
611.
But we are going to take the same 611 off the island and land them in Palestine.
611?
He thinks he's Moses.
Ari, we haven't been able to break more than 10 or 15 at a time out of Carolus.
And this will be a new experience. One thing more, there's a time limit. Today is Tuesday, we'll stage the break next Monday.
Next Monday?
Why not tomorrow?
Ari, we cannot do it.
David, the United Nations will vote on the Palestine issue before the end of its present session. Between now and then, we have to show the world that the thousands and thousands of homeless Jews in Europe are not going to accept any solution that bars them from Palestine.
In May of 1948, Israel's Declaration of Independence was signed in Independence Hall, currently being renovated. The modern state of Israel was now established. The last British internment camp closed in February of 1949. The released detainees then made their way to the new state of Israel. In the 75 years since its creation, Israel has grown into a modern, technologically advanced nation. Yet all around are reminders of the ancient past. Israel offers the visitor a unique blend of both modern and ancient worlds. Modern Tel Aviv was established in 1909 as a suburb of the ancient port city of Jaffa. Jaffa is associated with the biblical stories of Jonah, Solomon, and St. Peter. The city was first established around 1800 BCE. In 1950, Tel Aviv and Jaffa officially became one city.
Ottoman Empire, and he builds 100. Where did this come from? 100 buildings, towers like this all over the Turkish Empire. 6 of them in this land. Okay, in Tzfat, in Haifa, in Acre, in Jaffa, in Nazareth, and in Jerusalem near the Jaffa.
One of the most famous landmarks of Jaffa is the Clock Tower. This famous landmark was built in 1906 in honor of Sultan Abdul Hamid II, who was the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire from 1876 to 1909. The Saraya was built in the 1890s, originally as the Ottoman governor's palace, and now houses a museum. The original building was blown up in 1948, destroying all but the governor's residence and a small portion of the government building. The governor's residence, as well as the facade, were later restored. Opposite the Saraya was the old Ottoman police station and prison. After his capture, Adolf Eichmann, the infamous Nazi architect of the final solution, was briefly detained here upon arrival in Israel. The prison is now the Sateh Hotel. Modern Jaffa features art galleries, theaters, souvenir shops, restaurants, and sidewalk cafes. Neve Tzedek was the first Jewish neighborhood built outside the city of Jaffa. Established in 1887, more than 20 years before the city of Tel Aviv was created. By the beginning of the 1900s, it became an oasis for many artists and writers. The Carmel Market is the largest market in Tel Aviv, a vibrant marketplace where everything from clothing to spices to fruits and electronics are sold. It affords the shopper an opportunity to taste a wide variety of Israeli and Mediterranean foods. The Carmel Market opened in 1920, 11 years after the founding of the city of Tel Aviv.
I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
The South Tel Aviv neighborhood of Florentin is known as Tel Aviv's Soho district. This neighborhood has a youthful, artsy vibe, which contrasts the modern Tel Aviv look and feel. It's a fascinating area to walk through. This picture is of the first kiosk in Tel Aviv from 1910. That same kiosk still stands today. One of northern Israel's most prominent features is the Sea of Galilee. It's the largest freshwater lake in Israel and the lowest freshwater lake in the world. The lake has both historic and religious significance. During the Roman and Hellenistic periods, the Greeks and Romans established settlements around the lake. A thriving fishing industry grew. One of those settlements was Capernaum, also known as the town of Jesus. Here, archaeological excavations reveal two synagogues, one built over the other. Also revealed is a house that was turned into a church, believed to have been the home of St. Peter. In the south, the Sea of Galilee flows into the Jordan River. Each year, thousands of visitors come to Yardenit to be baptized in the River Jordan, where it is said that Jesus was baptized. On the western shore of the Sea of Galilee is the Church of Multiplication. This is the place where Jesus performed the miracle of the multiplication of loaves and fish. Nazareth is the largest city in the northern district of Israel. Its inhabitants are mostly Arab citizens of Israel. Nazareth is described in the New Testament as the childhood home of Jesus. There are several churches in Nazareth, but one of the most impressive is the Basilica of the Annunciation. It was here that the angel Gabriel appeared to the Virgin Mary to announce that she would be giving birth to Jesus. Haifa is Israel's third largest city and largest seaport. The city was built on the slopes of Mount Carmel. The settlement dates back 3,000 years. Haifa is home to the Baha'i Faith's Baha'i World Center and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its meticulously maintained gardens brings visitors from the four corners of the earth. Israel boasts a modern system of public transportation. Trains and buses can take you anywhere you need to go in comfort. The train line between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem is one of the more heavily traveled routes, with a stop at Ben Gurion International Airport. Nowhere is the distinction between modern and ancient more apparent than in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is one of the oldest cities in the world. It's considered a holy site by the three major world religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The old city of Jerusalem is defined by its all-encompassing walls, built during the Ottoman occupation. The Old City is divided into 4 quarters: the Jewish quarter, the Muslim quarter, the Armenian quarter, and the Christian quarter. In the Jewish quarter is the Cardo, or Main Street, as defined by its Byzantine columns. This area was discovered in the 1970s and housed a vibrant shopping area. A portion of the Cardo has been rebuilt as a modern shopping lane. No area of the Jewish quarter is more iconic than the section of the Temple Mount's western wall that remains. It is one of the most holy sites in Judaism. What's visible at the street level, however, is only a small portion of the wall that remains. Archaeologists have discovered that the western wall extends well below street level. The base of the wall dates back 1,700 years. The stones show the distinctive bevel used during the King Herod period. The Temple Mount refers to an area within the Old City of Jerusalem, measuring approximately 150 square meters. 2 temples have stood within those confines. The first temple was built by King Solomon around 957 BCE. It was destroyed by the Babylonians around 587 BCE. The second temple was built by King Herod around 515 BCE and destroyed by the Romans in 70 CE. Today, the Temple Mount is an open plaza that contains the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock, 2 holy sites in the Muslim religion. One of the most holy sites of the Christian quarter is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. It is here where Jesus was crucified. The site also houses the shrine containing the empty tomb of Jesus. Within the church are also the last 4 stations of the cross of the Via Dolorosa. The Via Dolorosa is the processional path that Jesus took on the way to his crucifixion. Here at the 5th station of the cross is where Simon of Cyrene was compelled by the Romans to bear the cross of Jesus. According to Christian tradition, this imprint in the rock was made when Jesus stumbled and rested his hand upon the wall. Just outside the walls of the Old City of Jerusalem is the City of David. Established in the days of Abraham about 3,000 years ago. Excavations continually reveal evidence that makes the Bible come alive. Just a short drive from Jerusalem is the lowest point on earth. The Dead Sea is a salt lake which rests between the Judean mountains and Jordan and contains no life. Many people come to the Dead Sea to float on its surface and bathe in its mineral-rich mud. Near the southern end of the Dead Sea, in the desolation of the Judean desert, lies Masada, the mountaintop fortress and site of the Jews' last stand against the Romans after the fall of Jerusalem in 70 CE. Masada stands 1,424 feet above the desert floor. The relatively flat top of the fortress measures 18 acres. It became the final resting place for more than 900 people who committed suicide rather than being enslaved by the Romans. The King Herod-built fortress included 2 ornate palaces and aqueducts that brought more than 200,000 gallons of water to cisterns where it was held.
Listen, you have to be a really professional to do it. It's those type of arts which I'm taking a plaster, and while it's still wet, I'm touching the plaster to the wall, and while it's still wet, I'm drawing whatever I want to draw. And when it's dry, it's stick to the wall, and it's actually the paint, it's part of the wall. Wait, so far so good, but hold on. The artist is the one that actually creating the colors and blending from natural ingredients, from soil from the Dead Sea, and plants, so he's the one that's creating the color.
Just to the north of Masada is Ein Gedi, a nature reserve with fresh water flowing from the mountains. The park boasts the largest herd of ibex in Israel, as well as wolves, foxes, bats, and many birds of prey. Beyond the land and its historic sites, Israel is a people that have been scattered throughout the world by conquering armies, a people that has been oppressed, a people that has been enslaved, a people that has, at times, been systematically murdered, a people that has now returned to their place of origin and can once again control their own destiny. This is the essence of Israel. Every year, the entire country observes 2 minutes of silence in remembrance of those who perished during the Holocaust. Sirens sound throughout the nation, and everyone stops what they're doing. Although there are constant reminders of cruelty inflicted by others, Israel has grown strong and can protect its people from those who would do it harm. Israel now celebrates 75 years of existence as a modern nation. In its first 75 years, it has built a modern, advanced nation while preserving its important past. The next 75 years will be even better. Just wait and see.
בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. Soon the day will arrive when we will sing together and the distance will just disappear, and the children will smile in a world that's gotten better. So let's bring in a healthy new year. Wait and see what a world there can be, and we know that there's always tomorrow. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה